Good morning, yogis, Costa Vida family. Hope you're all staying sane in this unique time, getting on your exercise and your yoga. I'm joined here today with Kim, and we're going to try and help out that situation, do a little yoga flow for you. So hope you enjoy. Take a comfortable seat, sit up nice and tall, allow yourself to feel settled in through your sits bones. And then take a moment, pull the shoulders up towards the ears, and allow them to melt down the back. Just give a little slight tone to your low belly, and then go ahead and close your eyes. Breathe in and out through the mouth, or through the nose, excuse me. Lengthen the breath. Soften the breath. Feel the breath fill you up from the top all the way down to the base of the belly. And allow it to pour all the way out from the belly, all the way up past the throat. Enjoy 3 more rounds of breath like this. Allow the breath to begin to give you a sense of balance. Prepare you for your practice. And bring your attention to your mat. Gently open the eyes. Take 1 full breath in. Bring the arms up overhead. Hold the top of the breath. And as you exhale, bring the hands into heart center. Make your way onto your hands and your knees. Place the wrists underneath the shoulders, spread the fingers. Begin to mix the body and the breath, the movement with the breath. So as you inhale, arch the spine, looking up into cow. And as you exhale, tuck through the tailbone, round the spine, and lower the head. Continue this with the pace of your own breath. And use this cat and cow to start to wake up the spine, gauge the muscles in the arms, loosen up the hips, and sync the breath with the movement. Enjoy 2 more rounds of cat and cow, and then make your way into a neutral spine. Once you're at a neutral spine, you're going to lift your left arm alongside your ear and your right leg up behind you. Flex the back foot. Start to engage the muscles from the heel all the way up the leg, lifting through the kneecap. Tuck your belly up and in. Lengthen out through the arm. Gently hug the arm towards the midline. Keeping all of that, find some length. Allow the shoulders to move away from the ears. And as you inhale, arch it up gently with the breath. And as you exhale, tuck and round, bringing your knee in towards your nose. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, tuck and round. 1 more time here. Inhaling up. Exhale, tuck and round. Extend the leg long. Lower your left arm down. Tuck the left toes. Lift the knee and come into 3-legged downward facing dog. Bend the knee here and open up the hip if you would like. You can rotate the ankle. You can rotate the knee, making little circles, loosening up the hip. With your next breath in, straighten the leg, 3-legged dog. Extend out through those toes. And then lower the foot, downward facing dog. With your in-breath, come forward into plank pose. You can always lower the knees if you need to. Pull the shoulders on the back as you take a breath in and look forward. And then bend the elbows and lower down as you exhale. Point the toes, inhale up, baby cobra. The lower ribs can stay in contact with the mat here and pull the elbows towards each other. One more breath here, point out through the back toes. Exhale and release. Come up through hands and knees as you inhale, and as you exhale, sink it back into child's pose. Inhale back up to hands and knees. We'll do the second side. Inhale the opposite arm alongside the ear and the left leg out behind you. Before we begin to move, engage all the muscles. Start to fire up the body. Hug into that imaginary midline. Pull the belly up. And then take a moment and find some length. Expand out through the fingers and the toes. With your in-breath, arch it all up, looking up. And with the exhale, tuck and round. Again, inhale. Exhale, tuck and round. Let your movement flow with your breath. Once more, inhaling up. Exhale, tuck and round. Extend the left leg long. Plant your right hand. Tuck the right toes and lift it up, three-legged down dog. Again, bend the knee, open up the hip. You can rotate the ankle. Make circles with the knee if you would like, loosening up the hip. Then straighten the leg. Take a breath here in three-legged down dog. Square the hips and find some length. Then lower the foot. Inhale forward into plank once again. As you exhale, lower down. Inhale up for cobra. Exhale and lower. Come up through hands and knees once again, and as you exhale, round in through child's pose. Stay here for a couple of rounds of breath. Maybe tiptoe the fingers forward a little bit and melt through the chest. Then come back up onto hands and knees. You're going to extend your left leg long behind you and then open up and do a little side stretch. So lift the left arm up. There you go. Bring that top arm alongside the ear. And then lower the raised foot down to the ground. Notice how that feels and stretch. And lift it up with your in-breath. As you exhale, lower it down. Just do that one more time, moving nice and slow. Lift and lengthen. Exhale and lower. Lift the foot back up, and if you would like, bend the leg, reach back, grab the top of the foot. Open it up for a nice stretch. You can breathe through the upper part of your chest. Maybe look up and arch back. One more breath here. As you release, lengthen out first. And then come back into hands and knees. Nice. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, downward facing dog. You can stay here or you can flow through vinyasa, coming forward into plank. Exhale and lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One last time. Take a breath in, hold the top of the breath, and open the mouth and sigh it out. Return back to hands and knees. Extend your right leg out behind you. You can kickstand that left foot if you need to, and then open up the hip for a stretch. You can extend the arm alongside the ear. And then take 3 breaths and lift and lower that top leg. Feel a stretch. Feel an engagement in the glutes and in the hip muscle. One more lift and lower. And then lift. Go ahead and bend the leg. Reach back, grab the top of the foot. If you press that foot into the hand, that's going to help you to arch and feel a good stretch in the whole upper body. Come back into hands and knees. Tuck your toes and lift the knees just to a hover. Do one round of cat and cow here, keeping the legs sturdy and hugging in, and just rotating the spine as you breathe in and out. As you round, lift up the knees and come into downward facing dog. Slowly walk the hands back to meet the feet. Come into a forward fold. You can soften the knees if you need to. Fold forward, fingertips on the ground, or you can clasp the elbows. Let the head and the neck release. Straighten the legs if that feels good. Then soften the knees, clasp the hands behind the back. Extend the hands up towards the ceiling as you release the head and the neck. Notice here where the weight is on the feet. Maybe even tilt it forward a little bit. As you release, bend nice and deep through the knees. One vertebrae at a time, roll yourself up to a stand. Take your time. And when you reach the top, roll the shoulders up and down the back. With your inhale, bring the arms up. And as you exhale, bring the arms out to a gold post. Arch up through the upper part of your back. Again, breathe in and out. I'll show you from the front. As you exhale, lift through the chest as you pull the elbows down. One more time, engage the core and arch through the upper part of your chest. With an inhale, rise it up. As you exhale, fold forward. Walk yourself forward, come into plank pose. Nice sturdy plank. Point your left toes behind you and lower. Point the right and lower. Lift the hips, come into downward facing dog. Here you can stay. You can always lower down into child's pose, or you can flow through a vinyasa, inhaling forward into plank. You can lower the knees if you need to, bending and lowering with your exhale. Then point the toes, inhale up for cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up behind you as you breathe in, and then bend the knee, open up the hip. Inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, bring it through, find low lunge. Lower the back knee and point the toe. As you breathe in, sweep the arms forward and up. Come into crescent lunge. In crescent lunge, the knee can come over the ankle. And you want to feel a good stretch here in this hip flexor. Pull the belly up and in. And then rise up through the arms. Arch it up and back if you'd like. One more full breath here. And then inhale up. Plant the hands, straighten the front leg and bow. Pause here as you breathe. Flex the front toes up towards the ceiling. Pull that right hip back. Come back into low lunge, tuck the toes and lift the back knee. And then lift the arms if you'd like, parallel to the mat. Here you want to reach with the fingertips, send out through the back heel, and lift through that back thigh. Lower your left hand, inhale the right arm up for a twist. Bring that arm alongside the ear. Then plant the hand, press the front leg straight and bow. Here you can always lower the back knee if you need to, or you can leave it lifted and point and flex the front foot. Last breath here. Come back in through low lunge and step it back, downward facing dog. Again, stay here or flow through your vinyasa.
Inhaling forward into plank. Exhale, bend and lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg now behind you. Bend the knee and open up the hip as you exhale. Straighten the leg with your in-breath. Exhale, low lunge. Lower the back knee and point the toe, and then scoop the arms up and back, crescent lunge. And this side may feel very different, so take some time. Protect your low back by pulling your belly up and in, and let the shoulders melt, and find length up through the arms, through the side body. One more breath here. Lower the hands as you exhale, press that front leg straight, and bow. Press that front heel down and gently pull your left hip back. Come back into low lunge, tuck the toes, lift the back knee, and inhale the arms parallel to the earth. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. And as you exhale, lower your right hand, inhale the left arm up for a twist. Pull this hip back. And the arm alongside the ear. Then look down, press the front leg straight and bow. Point and flex the front foot. Then come back into low lunge. Step the back foot forward. Find standing forward fold. Take a breath in, come up halfway, flatten back. Exhale and lower. On an inhale, come all the way up to stand. And as you exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Release, shake it out. Now find a spot in front of you, low to the ground. Fix your gaze there. That's your drishti. Help you with your balance. And then bring your right foot to the center of the mat and start to bring the weight there. Lift the left knee up into your chest. And then when you're ready, bring your foot into tree pose. So to the inside of the upper thigh, to the calf, or resting down on the ankle. Your hands can stay at heart center, or you can bring them up overhead. 5 breaths here. Try to find some softness in the breath. Balance that hugging in and activating the muscles in the body with lengthening and letting the breath flow. 2 more breaths in tree pose. We're going to bring the knee forward and then take the knee up and around, stepping back into warrior 1. Warrior 1, that back foot is planted and the hips turn towards the front of your mat. Bring your arms up overhead for a breath. And then clasp the hands behind the back, arch it up and back, and then bow to the inside of that front leg. Try to let go of any tension in the neck, in the head, the jaw here. Turn the head side to side if you'd like. Then release the hands, walk it around to center, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale and release. Walk it back around, come into low lunge. Plant through that back heel, and then cartwheel the arms up into warrior 2. So warrior 2, your shoulders and your hips are facing the side, and just the gaze is out over those right fingertips. Pull your belly up and in. Melt your shoulders. 3 more breaths here. Next time you inhale, flip your top hand. Inhale up and back. Stay here as you exhale and sink a little deeper through that front knee. Then inhale up through center, straighten your front leg, triangle pose. If you don't have a block at home, you can use your calf or your shin. Tuck under a little bit in your right sits bone, your right cheek. Maybe open up the chest. 3 more breaths here. Feel yourself pressing into the outer edge of your back foot and feel that energy come all the way up the side body and out through those fingertips. 1 more breath. Now press into the ball mound of that front foot. Inhale yourself up. Flip the top hand up and back. And then come through center. Bend the knee. Cartwheel the arms down. Come into downward facing dog. Yogi's choice here. You can stay here or you can flow. Inhaling forward into plank. Exhale, lower or hover. Come into cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here in your downward facing dog. Last of the 3, take a full deep breath in. And as you exhale, sigh it out. Inhale your left leg up behind you. Exhale, bring it through low lunge. Lower the back knee and point the toe. Inhale the arms up for crescent lunge once again. And bring the hands into heart center. Take your right elbow to the outside of that front thigh. Notice how I'm pressing my hands together. Elbow is facing up. I'm lengthening through the torso. Stay right here, or you can tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. If you're here, think of lengthening out through the crown of the head and out through the back heel. 1 more full breath here. As you exhale, look down, plant the hands in the back foot, walk it around to the back, come into a wide-legged forward fold. Then breathe in, come up halfway. Exhale and lower. Walk it back around into low lunge. Take a look that this knee is over the ankle, and then inhale yourself up, high lunge. Take the right arm forward and your left arm back. Work on hugging your legs together and then lifting and twisting in your torso. Next inhale, come back up through center, bounce off of that back foot, warrior 3. Your hands can come at heart center or alongside the ears. And then inhale, come back up to stand. And exhale, release. Take a moment, shake it out. And then come back into your drishti, your gazing point. Bring the weight to the left foot and inhale your right knee into your chest. When you're ready, come into tree pose. Keep your hands at your heart, or you can lift them up overhead. Take 5 breaths here. The balance is tricky. Press that raised foot into the standing leg, and the standing leg is going to resist back. It'll create a nice, tight contraction of the muscles and allow you to lengthen while holding your balance. 2 more breaths here. And begin to bring the knee forward, and then you're going to lift it up and around and step into your warrior 1. Once you're there, press into the outer edge of that back foot, really root down, and then turn your hips forward. Take 1 breath, maybe look up, and then clasp the hands behind the back, maybe the opposite thumb on top. Take a breath to arch it up and back, and then bow as you exhale. Again here, release the head and the neck. Even shake the head side to side. Gently release. Walk it around to the center and bow. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale and fold. Come right back around into low lunge. Step it back. Plant your back heel and cartwheel the arms up for warrior two. Let me turn around here. So in your warrior two, take a moment and see that this front knee is over your ankle. If it's not, you can come up onto the toes, send the knee back so it's more in line with the ankles, and then lower it down. 3 more breaths here. Engage, relax, and lengthen. Flip your top hand, inhale up and back. Stay here as you exhale and sink. Then inhale through center. Slink your torso to the side like you're going between 2 panes of glass. When you get to the point where you can't go anymore, lower your bottom hand, lift up that top hand. Triangle pose. 5 breaths here. Take a moment and play. Maybe tuck your left side under a little bit. Try to lift up through the chest. If you feel this in your neck, turn the neck back to neutral. Gently press your head back like you're pressing into a pillow. As you inhale, come back up through center. Flip your top hand, inhale up and back. Then I'm going to switch, but you don't. Come back in, bend the knee to a square. Cartwheel the hands down, step it back, downward facing dog. Stay here or flow, or take a break in child's pose. When you're ready, inhale, your right leg up behind you. Exhale, bring it through, low lunge. Lower the back knee and point the toe. Inhale, crescent lunge. Bring the hands into heart center. Take the left elbow to the outside of the front thigh. Twist. Stay here, or tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. And once you're here, you're pushing the front foot down, pulling that right hip back. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. 2 more breaths. And then look down, come back through low lunge, plant the back foot, walk it around to the center, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale and come up halfway. Exhale and lower. Walk it back around to the front. Make sure the knee's directly over the ankle. Engage your core, and then inhale up, high lunge. This time take the right arm behind you, the left arm forward. Sink through the legs as you try to lift and lengthen and twist the torso. Inhale yourself back to center. Bounce off the back leg. Warrior three. Try to keep the hips facing the ground. And then inhale up to standing. Exhale and release. Take your feet a little wider than your hips. Take a big breath in, arms up. As you exhale, gold post the arms, arch it up and back. Then inhale it up, and as you exhale, fold forward. You can stay here on the fingertips or on the shins. You can grab your big toes with your peace fingers. But bow, send the weight forward to the front part of your feet a little bit. Make the head and the neck that much heavier. Enjoy 3 more breaths here. Please turn your toes out to 10 and 2 and come down into squat pose. Bring the hands into heart center. You've got options here. You can press the arms into the inner thighs. The inner thighs are going to hug in. That'll lift you up and out of your squat a little bit. Take notice of your feet. Press into the outer edge of your pinky toes. Also engage the ball under your big toe. Engage your inner arch. Maybe close the eyes. Just 3 more breaths here. We've talked in class, but 10 breaths 3 times a day in squat pose will change your relationship with your hips. You're going to slowly begin to plant the hands and step your feet back and come into a plank pose. It'll feel really good. Yes. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then come down into forearm plank. 1 arm at a time. If you need to lower the knees, lower the knees. And then lower the knees and the hips and come into Sphinx pose. Release the clinch on the glutes. Allow the low ribs to reach towards the earth. And then press the forearms down, pulling your elbows back isometrically towards your hips. Going to help you lift up through the upper chest. This is another pose where if you can linger here for 5 to 10 breaths, adjusting as your body releases, as things tighten and clench or react, and you work through that, can help to open up some of the muscles in the low back and the belly and in the upper chest. Just 2 more breaths here. When in doubt, you can always close your eyes and return to your breath. Next time that you exhale, lower it down. You're going to come up through hands and knees and find child's pose. So anytime you feel it in your low back or you're doing a back bend or arching up, child's pose is always a good counter for that. You can pull your belly to your spine, round through your lower back, middle back, upper back. Let the head and the neck release. And you can always come back to your breath here. We're going to move into dolphin pose. So staying on your forearms, keeping your elbows the same width as your shoulders, so not any wider. Flatten the hands, spread the fingers, and then tuck the toes and lift the knees. Come into dolphin. Beautiful. If your hamstrings are a little tighter than Kim's here, you can always soften your knees and then press your chest back towards your thighs. Yes. It's also good to kind of work with the straightening and bending with the breath. Helps encourage the muscles to lengthen and stretch. Take 2 more breaths here. You should be sweating, maybe even shaking here. And then lower the knees, sink the hips back. Take a breather. We're going to do that 1 more time. As you're ready, come back into dolphin. The second time, you can stay right where you were the first time, or you can always try lifting one leg up behind you at a time, and then the other. And then if you would like, you could go from your dolphin, lifting up into downward facing dog. If you need to lower the knees to do this, you can. Once you're in downward facing dog, inhale forward and come into plank. Come onto the outer edge of the right foot. Come into side plank, lifting the right arm up. You can lift that top foot away from the bottom if you'd like. You can step it behind you, open it up, wild thing. Let the head and the neck go here. And then lower the hips, flip it back over to plank, and come on to the other side. You can lift the top foot away if you'd like. Step the foot behind and open it up. You can always lower that bottom knee if you need to modify here. Work with where you're at. Flip it back over into plank. And then challenge yourself here as slowly as you can, lower down onto your belly. Hugging those elbows in. Beautiful. Bring your arms alongside your ears. With your breath in, rise up. And with your exhale, lower it down. With the inhale, lift the arms, the legs, the chest. And with the exhale, lower down. Again, inhaling up. Exhale and release. Inhale and lift. Pause here. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, bring the arms into gold post and see if you can lift up through the chest. And then lengthen the arms alongside the ears. And again, pull the arms back into gold post. Don't forget to breathe. Just one more time. Inhaling forward. Exhale, lift and pull the arms into gold post. Beautiful. Lengthen and release. Turn your head to one side. Breathe into your lower back. Puff up the kidneys with your breath. Hi, everyone. So when I say that, I mean this area right here. Send the breath into your lower back. It's going to help release the tension in these muscles in your low back. Bring the head to face center. Bring the arms down by your sides. Palms face up, and as you inhale, lift it up into locust pose. Pause here. Beautiful. Pulling the shoulders in the back. Pointing the toes, finding length, not just lift and crunch. Exhale and release. Turn your head to the other side. We're going to do one more of those, and you can do that, or you can transition into bow pose. It's up to you. So when you're ready, come back into center. If you're doing locust, we'll do the same thing you just did. Otherwise, bend your legs, reach back, grab the outer edges of the feet. Press the feet into the hands to lift up into bow. Beautiful. Imagine you've got a ball between your thighs and you're gently hugging that ball. If you can, stay here for 2 more breaths. And then gently release. Turn your head whichever way feels best. Again, breathe into your low back. Actively relax. And then make your way up through to hands and knees. And then come into downward facing dog. We're going to come into pigeon prep. So we'll show a couple options here. Inhaling her right leg up behind. Exhale, come forward, find pigeon prep. The knee is wider than the shoulder here. She's going to square the hips. And Kim here has her front leg parallel to the front of her mat. If you're a little tighter, you can pull that heel back in towards the groin. Yes. And then when you're ready, you can round and hollow through the low belly and come onto the forearms if that feels good. Another option is to do seated pigeon prep, which is basically the same pose, but you're doing it from a seated position. Yes. Sitting up nice and tall. See how she's got a nice flat back? Some of you may want to use a wall here if you're not able to get up nice and tall. Letting the shoulders relax. Her foot is active. That's going to protect the front knee. She's lifting up, and then the more you can pull that foot to the center or to your midline, the more of a stretch you're going to get here.
Also, her left leg is straight and that left foot is active. When you're ready, you can release out of your pigeon, come back into downward facing dog if you're doing that version. Lifting the left leg, exhaling, coming forward, pigeon prep. So with your left leg forward into pigeon, you want this knee wider than your shoulder. You want to keep the hips nice and square and on top of the pose. Tendency a lot of times is to do this and let this knee turn out and the foot turn out. That's not going to be the same stretch, and it's going to be hard on your knees and on your hip flexor. So keep it nice and squared on top of the pose. Can lift through the low belly and round in order to come forward. If you point the back toe, make sure you're not tickling your foot. Get a nice extension out through that leg. And if you prefer, you can always tuck the back toes and lift the knee. That'll keep it a little more active for you. If you feel anything in your front knee, then you take your front foot, press down on the pinky toe side of your foot, and that's going to help protect your front knee. Couple more breaths here. And gently walk your way up, come back into downward facing dog. And then tiptoe the feet forward. You're going to come to sit. Make sure you have room behind you to roll, okay? We're going to hug the knees into the chest and do some rock and roll back and forth, massaging the spine. Do that 2 or 3, maybe 4 times if it feels good. And then try to rock yourself up and land in boat pose. You can always tap the toes down if you need. You can also always hold on to the thighs. But try to lift up and lengthen through the spine. You can stay here. We need a good 10-ish breaths. Engage in the low abs to help release our back. If your hip flexors are cranky, you can turn the knees out and the toes out. You can exhale and come into low boat. And inhale back up into high boat. Or maybe you just stay right here. If you need a break, rather than releasing out completely, maybe hug the knees in and then give yourself another rock and roll. And then come back up and find boat. Stick with it, just 3 more rounds of breath here. Last one, lift it all up. And then squeeze in the knees, roll onto the back. Plant the feet. Press the feet, the heels into the ground and lift up the hips. If you want, you can clasp your hands under your back. Just a couple of breaths here. Release the tension in the glutes. Scoop the tailbone and then lift up through the upper chest. Then release the clasp. Inhale the arms up overhead. Come up onto the toes and then roll down the back. So scoop the tailbone and roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Lift up the knees, grab the outer edges of the feet for happy baby. So the feet go wide. Press the feet up into the hands and the hands will pull back. And then from here you can massage the spine by rocking side to side. Release, hug the knees in and rock yourself back up to a seat. You're going to turn and take a wide-legged forward fold. So for some of you this may be a V. For others it may be a little wider. You can always bend your knees. If you find yourself slouching, you need to bend the knees in order to get up nice and tall, or sit yourself up on to a blanket. Okay? You can stay right here, or you can always walk forward. Notice how I'm keeping my feet active here, flexing the feet, I'm pressing my heels down, and I'm gently hugging them in towards the midline.
Then if you'd like, you can start to walk the hands over to one side. Try to keep pressing down the opposite hip. And then walk it over to the other side. And then come back in through center and rise up. Hug your right knee in. We're going to go for Janu Shirshasana. So see how she's adjusting, then she's going to turn her torso to face that straight leg. Yeah. And then reach the arms up and hinge forward. You can always use a strap here or a towel if you don't have a strap at home. Pull that left hip back a little bit. Extend out through the right knee. And then as you inhale, come up, bring the right arm behind you. Lift up into Stargazer. Just stretch. Beautiful. And release. And then switch. Hug the left knee in, straighten through the right. Take a moment, sit up nice and tall. Turn your chest towards that straight leg and then hinge forward as you're ready. This is Janu Shirshasana. Extend out through the left knee. Maybe breathe into your right lower kidney area and puff up the low back here with the breath. As you're ready, slowly rise. Take your left hand behind you. Lift the hips. Give yourself a good stretch. Lower as you're ready, and then turn and roll back onto your back once again. We're going to do a twist, and then we'll get into Shavasana. So hug the knees into the chest. Send the knees over to the right. Extend the left arm out to the left. You can bend both of your knees. You can straighten one, whatever makes you feel like you're able to get a good twist. You can close the eyes. Do a little scan of the body and relax and let go what you don't need to engage here. Bring it back up in through center. Go to the other side. When you feel balanced, come back up through center. And please allow yourself a moment or two in Shavasana. If you need to do anything else now, shoulder stand, anything else, feel free. Otherwise, take the legs, the feet wider than the hips. Bring your hands wherever feels the most relaxing, the most open. Allow yourself to sink in just for 2 minutes, I promise. You're already 1 minute into your Shavasana. If you're having a hard time letting go, then just take a second and clench it all up. Clench your fists, your toes, your face. And then as you exhale, let it all release.
Yoga is a dance between control and surrender, between patience and acceptance, between pushing yourself and letting go. When to push and when to let go becomes part of your creative, unique process, part of the open-ended, not yet written exploration of your being. Allow the body to remain still, but begin to lengthen and deepen the breath. Invite in the energy that comes with each breath. Let it fill you up and give you what you need for your day. And then as you're ready, you can begin to move the body, stretching however feels good. And then eventually hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a good squeeze. And gently make your way up into a seat. Close your eyes. Bring your hands into heart center. Take a breath in. And take an exhale out. Inhale, rise your arms up overhead. Exhale and bow. Namaste. Thank you, yogis, for joining us. Stay tuned.